Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is October 23, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. In today's segment, I want to review Finviz platform and compare the Finviz Elite platform versus Finviz free platform. So with that, let's jump in and get started. I will also try to compare this platform with platforms like TradingView and other platforms as I go along, so that way you get a good idea. So with that, let's jump in here. Look, from a platform perspective, it's a very simple user interface. That's one of the reasons I love Finviz. So as you log into Finviz, you could go into Finviz. Right now I'm on the Elite platform here. As you log into the platform, you'll get a nice view here. It tells you in one day how did the Dow Jones Industrial Average do, how did the Nasdaq do, and you could also look at how S&P 500 has done, and you can look at some of the key technical indicators like advancing per stocks versus declining stocks, new high versus new low, and stocks above 50-day simple moving average, and so on and so forth. The lower part that I'm highlighting right now is really for you to understand the market breadth. As you understand more advancing stocks, it tells you market is getting bullish as we speak. So that's the top portion here. Then you could look at the few information here. As you log in, it will give you a nice information here. It will tell you what are the tickers, top tickers from a top gainers perspective. Look, these are top gainers. And next you got here top new high. These are the new high. And then you got overbought. These are really stocks which are overbought. You could look at some shorting ideas here. Also think about selling some, buying some put options on these stocks here. And then you could look at unusual volume. This is where they compare the current volume against 90-day average volume and flag this as unusual volume. And then you got analyst upgrades and earnings and so on and so forth. This is a nice bird's eye view. Normally I look at this view once or twice a day, especially in the morning, and go from there. On the left hand side you got right hand side you got other things like top losers, new low, oversold. As you look through the oversold here, this could be an opportunity for you to buy some of these oversold candidates here, so that these can bounce back. And then you got most volatile stocks here. Look, we got few stocks which are most volatile here. You could look at some opportunities on these stocks, strategies like straddles and strangles and so on and so forth here. And finally got downgrades, as you can see. And next information is really very useful here. It tells you the tickers and what from a technical perspective how they're doing. There's a trend line support, as you can see here, and resistance. These are the stocks that are coming down off late, hitting the resistance, and then there is a horizontal support resistance level and so on and so forth. Very good indication. Then you got a nice news item here, and you got major news on stocks with a major news, as you can see here. And as you look at some of these stocks that will show up, most recent quotes, it kind of remembers what stocks you have looked at in the recent past. And then you got a nice earnings calendar here, pretty simple but powerful. It tells you what earnings is coming up here. Look, we got stocks like Cadence Design, one of my favorite, coming up on October 24th. We got DFS and BOH and so on and so forth. You get a good idea. And finally, it also tells you insider buying and selling here. Look, we got a few insiders here, and they are selling, as you can see here. Look, these are sale transactions, and then you got some insider buy transactions, as you can see here. A few buy and few sell. Looks like DICE and ENTB. There is a good buy here. Look at the value for DICE here. Nice $59 million purchase here. That's typically a good indication. And then there's some limited support for the Forex here. As you can see, we got a couple of these Forex. We'll go into that in a little more detail. It's not a core platform for forex trading, but it gives you good enough information. You can make use of this for your forex trading. Of course, you can get a little more detailed information in your platforms like Thinkorswim or Interactive Broker and so on and so forth, but this will help you to understand the trend. It also provides the support to futures here. This is one thing I look early in the morning. How are the futures doing? You get a good idea. So that's in a nutshell. As you look through this, a very good overview of the stock market. I typically look at the simplicity here. Very simple interface, but very powerful. That's one of the reasons I look at this platform typically. You might wonder, hey, this is Elite. What if I want to start with a free Finviz? No issues. I could take you into this free Finviz platform here. I'll log in using incognito mode, which will tell you how will a free platform will look like. So let's go into Finviz here and go into finviz.com. So even if you have a free account here, look, there is a nice information here. Even in the free account, you could see all this information that we looked at earlier. You get a very good idea here. Only problem in the free account, you'll get annoying advertisements, which you can get rid of. Look, we got a couple of advertisements coming up already. You can get rid of those advertisements with the Elite platform. All right, let's go back here. One of my favorite item in this platform is this nice view here. Look, we got a United States S&P 500, and we got the world here. Let's look at both of these in a little more detail. As you go in here, you could go into the nice platform here. It tells you the performance of the major stocks. This is also available for free users also. This is not limited to premium users. Look, you will see how are the stocks doing. For example, on Friday, Microsoft did very nicely. So did Apple. Apple did very nicely. And as you see these big boxes that tells you these are bigger market cap companies. Adobe, after getting clobbered for a while, it's also strong. Oracle did okay, and Google is a little bit struggling, but it did very well. Meta, which is Facebook, as many of you know, struggling slightly on Friday with the Snapchat providing some not so great earning announcement. So it's a nice view here. I like this. You could also make it a big screen here by clicking on this. It will make a big screen, as you can see here. All right, let's go back to the small screen here and look at a little more detail. The reason I like this is really you could go into a 1 week performance, 1 month, 3 month, and so on and so forth with the click of a button. For example, you want to see year-to-date performance, you could just click on this. Look, from a year-to-date performance perspective, Microsoft is not doing great, 28% negative, as you can see here. Google 29%. Apple is holding up so far pretty okay here, 17% negative. Meta is negative, as you can see here. As you click on this, you'll get the stocks in the same sector, and you can see how they're doing. It's a little more details, as you can see here. And if you want to see a little more detail, you can click on this here, and you could get a information about all these stocks in their sector. Good way to understand what stocks are there in their sector and how they're doing. All right, let's go back here. And you could also look at multiple things here. For example, right now we're in the S&P 500. You could go to the world and see how the world is doing. Look, we got Canada right here, and there are a few companies in Canada doing pretty okay. You got CNQ, SU, so on and so forth, and we got United Kingdom here and Ireland. Look, Shell is doing okay, Energy doing pretty okay this time, and we got BP doing pretty okay year to date. And then you got China here. Look, China is all for most part China is in red, as you can see here. Alibaba down 39% and BEK down 42%. Look, we got India right here. In India, looks like ICICI Bank is doing okay. It's in the green, as you can see here. and then you got Japan and so on and so forth. Very good view here. Many times you may not realize some of these stocks are in other countries, but it will give a very good idea. All right, that's about this view here, and you could also change this view into a different format here. You could look at multiple things here. You could look at full and look, we got full view here. You could look at ETFs. If you are a big ETF person here, you could look at top ETFs here. And right now we are still in the year to date, as you can see here. Look, we got inverse ETFs. Off late, they're doing well. Look, this whole year the inverse ETFs are doing well, mainly because stock market rolled over with all these inflation worries and geopolitical issues. That's why these inverse ETFs have done well, as you can see here. Otherwise, most of these ETFs have not done well, probably with the exception of energy, where energy seems to be holding pretty okay here. But otherwise, most of these ETFs have not done well. All right, that's about the home screen here. I think we covered pretty much in the home screen for most part. Now let's jump into the news. I love the news here. It's a very good news platform here. The moment you get up in the morning or in between, you could see what are the major news here. Look, we got here electric from XI, as you can see here. We got tech. Big tech has been an earning refuge for years. But safety is no longer sure thing. We got some of these big stocks announcing earnings next week. You could see a very good idea what's going on here. You get a good idea about the news. It's a very good source for the news here when it comes to stocks, and we got good blog information here. So this is one of my favorite here. I typically look at this to look at the news items here. You get all these major news showing up here. And next is one of my favorite, which is Screener here. I love the Screener, the simplicity of the Screener here. So if you are a free user, you can get a lot of information. All this information is pretty much available in the free view. Also, I will highlight some key differences for you. Right now, all these are available here. You could go in here if you're in the free view, you could just sort it by volume. I normally like to look at the volume here. You could just sort by volume, and also you could go here. For example, I like to look at the all here with all the filters here. This is the simplicity of the platform. I love to change my filters pretty easily. This platform gives you that ability. You don't need to be a technology wizard to change these these filters. For example, you want to trade only, say, large cap stocks. You could just go here and say, I want to look at only large cap. And then you could look at, I want to look at the price. I don't want any penny stocks as an example. You could say, I want to look at stocks over $10. You could just do that right here. You could say over $10. There you go. We got stocks over $10. And many times I don't like the stocks which are not trading or not moving too much. So you could go into other areas here. You could look at things like available to average true range here. Look, this is one of my favorite indicator. Typically, I want average true range to be, say, at least over 50 cents here. So otherwise, it doesn't move much. You can't make too much money here. You could say about 0.5. And if you're an options trader, you could also increase this a little more here. You could say, about 0.75 if you're an options trader. So that way you get a little more volatile stocks here. All right, so now we could look at a few more things here. You could look at average volume. Many times, especially if you're an options trader, you want the average volume on a, average 90-day volume to be at least over 500K. You could just select that. Now you get a little more liquid stocks as you can see here. And many times, many of you want to make sure you want to buy stocks with a good analyst buy recommendation. You could go here and say buy or better, so that we get stocks which are recommended by analysts. And many of you want to trade the stocks which are doing well from a moving average perspective. You could just go here. We got 20-day moving average here. You can say 20-day moving average. And you can say, I want the stock to be about 20-day moving average. There you go. You get a little more less, filtered stocks here. As you can see here, many of these stocks like Freeport, McMoran, Cisco, Apple, these are all trading above their 20-day SMA. That tells you, hey, these are doing well. And many times you want the stocks to be above their 200-day SMA here. You could just do that here. You want to make sure, stocks are a little more in the positive territory. Look, these stocks are about 200-day SMA. No surprise here, we got a lot of energy names as you can see here. Let's remove this because market in the current condition, you may not see too many good stocks with the below above the 200-day moving average. And for example, if you want to just look at some stocks here, many of you want to just look at one industry as an example, or one sector. You're a technology geek here. You could go into technology. You'll see some great technology companies here. Look, we got Apple, Nvidia, so on and so forth here. These are all great stocks doing well. And one of my favorite sector is healthcare. You could go into healthcare. Before you go to healthcare, now if we selected technology sector, you could look at one of the industry here. You're big on semiconductors. You could click on semiconductor here, and you'll get only semiconductor stocks as you can see here. Now I will tell you, if you have an elite platform, you could do certain more things here. If you have an elite platform here, you don't need to just worry about just semiconductors. You might want to look at semiconductor equipment and materials. So if you have an elite membership, you could go to custom here, and you could select semiconductor as well as semiconductor equipment. There you go. Now you'll see, the entire semiconductor cohort here. That's one of my favorite way to look at this. And look, top semiconductor stocks here. You might want to take off analyst recommendation here because some of these semiconductor stocks are not in a buy rating right now. You could do any, and now you'll see, some good stocks here in the semiconductor area. Look, these are the bigger ones here. Mainly we have filtered by average volume over 500k. That's why you will not see your stocks here. If I remove that, you'll see some of these other stocks also here. Look, now we got a little more depth here, and I could remove the moving average here. You'll get a few more semiconductor stocks. Look, we got a nice semiconductor stocks. And if you have an elite platform here, you don't need to resort to only these views. If you have a free platform, you could look at overview. As you can see here, tells you market cap, price, and so on and so forth, volume. You could click on valuation here. It will tell you from a valuation perspective. Look, there is a nice information here. Price to earning, forward PE, price to earning growth ratio, and so on and so forth. Very good information here. I make use of this all the time. And then you could look at financial here. In the financial, you'll see all these financial metrics here. Return on ROA, return on asset, return on equity, ROI, and so on and so forth, and profit margin, gross margin, all great information here, free of cost for you. And you got earnings also here, and then you got ownership here. Many of you want to know how much stocks insiders are owning. Look, we got it right here. Insiders owning 0.50% in AMD here, whereas Nvidia at 0.4%. On the other hand, if you look at this one right here, STM, looks like insiders owning big chunk here. And you could also look at how much insiders selling. This is one of the information insider transactions, which is insider buying or selling, and institutional buying or selling. This one is not available in platforms like TradingView and Trade Ideas. It's not available there too. And many of the platforms like StockRover also does not have this information provided this way. And most of the platforms, even bar chart does not have insider transactions in the screener like the way we have it here. And same story, look, institutional transactions also you don't find this in trading view, trade ideas, and charts in stock, in bar chart as well as stock rover. This is very unique to this platform here. And then you got float chart here. Again, float chart is for the folks who want to trade short squeeze ideas. This information is also not available in many platforms, including trading view, trade ideas, TC2000, and so on and so forth. Stock rover provides this, but this seems to be a little more up to date here. And then you got a few more information here. And you could go into performance. This is one of my favorite tab here. You could look at the performance in 1 week, 1 month, and so on and so forth. I give very much importance to this one here. For example, I'm in a mood for shorting. I could go here and look at the stocks which have done tremendously well in 1 week time frame, and I could look at shorting some of these stocks here, especially in this market. It provides a very good opportunity for those things. And for example, I want to buy some good stocks here. I might look at quarterly performance here and see stocks are really doing not so great in the quarterly view here. I might pick up some of these things like AMD as an example, and Nvidia with my friend Jetson Wong. I might pick up some of these stocks. I know these will always do well, including Marvel. So that's why you can get some good ideas for long or buying opportunities and short or selling opportunities, depending on stock is completely sold off here with a great value like AMD and Nvidia. Or you could look at stocks which have done very well and might go down slightly by looking at the performance in 1 week. Stocks that have done great, you might look at shorting them or buying some put options there. All right, then you got technical. There is a lot of good technical indicator here. Look, we got beta, tells you how is the stock performance compared to S&P 500. Look, ASML, it's 1.34% compared to S&P 500. That tells you it's a little more volatile than S&P 500. Available true range, ATR. One of my favorite indicator, I always look at it. Look, ASML can go $21 up or down in any single day. You could make a lot of money with this information here. And then you got moving average all the way from SMA all the way 20-day to 200-day here. A quick comment here. Platforms like TradingView, they also provide exponential moving average, but it's one of the moving average will do it. We don't need both. And this platform does not provide a 10-day SMA here. Starts with 20, 50, and 200, as you can see here. And then you got your 50-day high, 50-day low, RSI, which is one of my favorite indicator. And you got price change from open and gap. For the folks who are gap traders, you could look at this one here. Look at gap up candidates and go with the momentum and make some quick money. All right, next, and my favorite is the custom view here. And I love to make my own, select my own columns from this here. So look, if you have an elite membership like I do, look, I got an elite membership right here, which is not too much. It's about $29 per month or so, but you get to create your own custom view here. Look, I selected my custom view here. So to do that, you can go into the setting view here. The moment you click on settings, it will tell you, hey, what columns you want to see here. I have selected my columns I want to see. I want price to sales ratio. I want sales growth in past 5 years. I want to see float short because I like to trade short squeeze type names here. I want net profit margin. The moment I select these, they will show up right here in my own custom view, as you can see here. And many of you might want to look at stocks which are gapping up as an example, or you want to see after hour change. If you want after hour change, you could just click on this here and it will just add the after hour change right here. You could see how the stock is doing after hours, one of my favorite indicator. And with that, the elite membership gives you this opportunity here. That's one of the reasons I took the elite membership, in addition to getting rid of these annoying advertisements. All right, so now I could just click on the filters and let the filters let the setting go away here. And now you look here, we got all this set of stocks here, and you want to see how the stocks have done in the after hour market here. You could click on AH change, after hour change. Look, we got few stocks which are going up in the after hour, including Nvidia, AMAT, Marvell, AMD, so on and so forth here. And you might want to see what had not done well. We got stocks like Skyworks, Intel, they have not done well here. All right, so that's about custom view here. And other benefits of this Elite is really, look, if you don't have Elite here, you have to go with one of these selections here. The moment you have Elite here, you could go into custom here. You can say, hey, I want to see the stocks which are, say, $1 billion to $2 billion. You could say that, and it will just filter that out. All these filter conditions. With Elite, you'll get a custom view here at very end here. You could really, you don't need to have restrictions to use only these. You could create your own custom view here. You could say 5 years growth between, say, 10 and 20 as an example, or over 10, or between 10 and 20, and you'll get your own custom filter. That's one of the reasons I went with the Elite platform, among other things here. All right, so now we got that also filtered out, sorted out here, and then you can go in here and go to the charts. This is one of my favorite things here. Look, we are in semiconductor still here, and I could go on charts. Look, this is a bird's eye view. I could get rid of this filter view at the top here by clicking on this. Look, you want to see what semiconductor stock you want to buy here. Look, we got here nice chart view here. Many platforms like TradingView, you have to pay money to get 2 charts in one screen here, whereas this one here you get nice view here with the multiple chart. Look, it's chart galore. You could just get an idea of these stocks just by looking at it. And if you don't like this sort order here, you could go here to the screener here, and look, I sorted by after hour change. Instead, my favorite sort is really volume. I want to look at stocks with nice and high volume here. Look, I will do a descending order here. Look, AMD has been trading very well here. Now if I go back to my charts view here, look, AMD at the top here. You can just see here AMD, since February, stock has been going down for most part. Now it's trying to bottom out and see where to go next. It will give you a very good idea here. And we got a few more here. We got Nvidia, same story. It's a great view. I love this view all the time. And then you could go into the ticker view if you want to see how are these, some of these, all the tickers. You could go to ticker view, and you get a ticker view here. It tells you as an example, right here, Nvidia is a little more bigger cap. We got AMD, which is less market cap is smaller compared to Nvidia. You got Intel. You get a good idea about how the stocks are doing and whether they're up or down on Friday, as you can see here. And you could go into basic view here. It's a nice basic view. Sometimes I look at this view here. Many times you want to see side-by-side information. You can look at the chart itself. Right here, we got chart all the way from February all the way to October here. You can see here AMD has been down as you can see here. At the same time, you get nice information here. And you could see things like, hey, how is my short ratio? We got short float here. AMD has got a 2% float here. You could look at insider buying and selling. Look, insiders are owning a good chunk, 68% in AMD. That's a very good sign that tells you there's a skin in the game from insiders. Quarter over quarter sales growth is there, nice sales growth here. And the analysts are recommending here 2.0, meaning it's a buy recommendation. Anytime if you want to see what's 2.0, you can always click on help here. They got nice help. For example, if you click on help right here, you can get a nice view here. And if you want to see what's analyst recommendation, just click on analyst. Look, analyst recommendation 2.0 means buy. So you could just get the information right here. Very good help. If you want to see what each field means, you could go here and get the information. All right, let's go back here and look. This is a nice basic view. I tend to look at this view. You could change. There is also nice RSI view here, and you could go into TA. This is a technical analysis view. Look, we got nice technical analysis here, and we got here what are moving averages. We got few moving averages here. One which is 50-day SMA, and we got a 200-day SMA here, and so on and so forth. Here we got RSI. If you don't like RSI, you could change to something else also. I will show that also. Typically I use this view many times because it's a very good side-by-side comparison. You don't need to do too much analysis. You could see the chart on the left hand side here, and a few key statistics on the right hand side. And then you could look at news also. I also look at this many times. You have the chart here, key information, and worthy news that you want to look at. As an example, you got AMD at the top here. You see here insiders who sold 4.1 million worth of AMD. You want to see more, you can click on this. You get a good information here. Very good view here. You don't get this type of view in platforms like TradingView or even Trade Ideas, or even Stock Rover for that matter. This is something unique to this platform because it's used by a lot of these big money managers. And next is my favorite view here, snapshot view. I tend to keep this view here. It gives you nice snapshot here, including the chart here, and you got some key statistics here, and you got a small technical analysis and news. Of course, you could keep scrolling down. Look, we got here insider buying and selling, and you got nice synopsis of what company doing, a little more background about the company. It's a very good view. I typically go into this view. But hey, if you're not happy with this information, many times I'm not. I click on this here. The moment you click on this is the view I love the most to do the deep dive. Look, we got AMD here, and AMD stock has been lagging. Look, it's going down with all the semiconductors going down. You see your moving average. You can see your volume, as you can see here. We got RSI, or relative strength index, and look, we got bunch of information. I love this. It gives you all the information available on AMD here. And look, this one is next is my favorite here. Look at this section here. This is my favorite. You could look at earnings per share. How is AMD's earnings per share doing? Look, earnings per share is going up on a yearly basis. 2017 negative, 2018 positive, and came a little bit less in 2019, but from there 2020 great, 2021 also did great. Gives you an idea here. I love this type of trending here. Many times when you do technical analysis or fundamental analysis, it's not about earnings per share or a metric at one point in time. Instead, you could look at the trend. That will give you more confidence to invest. And from a sales perspective, nice trend, I like it. And one more thing I don't see in many platforms is shares outstanding here. Look, there is a nice view of shares outstanding, how it's doing on a yearly basis. This is very unique to this platform here. You don't find this type of information in a very easy to consume fashion in other platforms like TradingView or even Stock Rover or Trade Ideas. You don't find this type of information. Even TC2000, you don't find this information. It's very unique to Finviz platform. And look, this is also my favorite. As I do deep dive, I can look at, hey, what are the analysts talking about this company? Look, we got on October 7th, Wells Fargo is saying, go overweight. But they're saying, hey, it's 90 to 85. That tells you it's a little bit, negative connotation here. They're saying overweight, but they do expect the stock price to come down from 90 to 85. So that tells you, if you look at a few things here, stock target is getting cut slightly here. It could be a good idea to slowly start buying when this happens, because stock is on a sale when this happens here. All right, you got a nice news item here. The chat, some of the folks, they have some of these blogs going on here. You could look at some of those here. This can come from a variety of sources, as you can see here. All right, so this is my favorite view, and one of my favorite item is also, look, here, this is one of my favorite section here. Many times you might want to see how the company doing on a quarterly basis. Here it gives you nice income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, so on and so forth on a yearly basis. But normally I look at the yearly, I look at the trend. Look, revenue going up on a yearly basis, great. Cost is going up, it's okay. And selling is general administrative is going up, and these guys are putting money into the R&D. That's what differentiates AMD. I like it. Operating expense is going higher, which is part of the game here. And as you can see here, we got various information. Look, we got diluted shares going higher, and you can also look at the quarterly view here. This is where I spend more time. Look, from a quarterly view perspective, we got all the quarters and 625, which is the latest one. Trend is up, that's good. Profit is up, that's great. And you could also look at net income and so on and so forth here. And you could also look at the cash flow here, and look, cash flow perspective. We got cash flow from various activities, as you can see here, and we got cash flow and so on and so forth here. And it's a very good view here. We got net cash. I think this company has got some nice net cash here. And if you want to see bigger view, you could just hover over this. You got a nice big view here, and you could understand what's going on here. So it's a very good view, and you could look at many more information like insider buying and selling. It always you should pay attention to what insiders are doing. Look, right now we got here EVP and CSO here. Looks like he's selling some, which people always do many times. And looks like chairman Miss Lisa Su, she has sold about $2.9 million worth of shares, which is again expected. They need money from time to time for various reasons. All right, this is one of my favorite plays here. And let's go back here. Many times, you might want to see, what, this is fine. I'm a chart person. I want to look at chart in a little more detail. You don't need to worry. You can just go back here to charts, and these folks have, they've made some changes to the platform of late here. This is where the innovation of this company is a little slow, but they're doing it. You could go into the night mode. Many of you want to look at black background. Don't worry. This platform has got the dark background here. You could click on this back and forth, white and dark background. Look, right now we're in Tesla. I could change it to AMD. Tesla is also my favorite stock. Look, we got a nice view here. It's a right now it's in a 1 minute view. For the folks who want to look at a 1 minute chart, you could look at 1 minute chart. This is available only for elite members here. For example, if I go back to the free version here, if I click on chart, let's make sure here. Let's go to for the free version. Look, there is no chart here. The chart view with the dark and dark mode, that's only available for the elite members, not for the free members. Now I'm in a 1 minute chart here. In a 1 minute chart, AMD seems to be doing pretty okay. You could click on 3 minute chart here. Look, in a 3 minute chart, look, it's doing pretty okay. It's going up. And you could go into 5 minute, 10 minute, and 15 minutes. You could look at 30 minutes, so that way you get a good idea what's going on. And 1 hour, daily, and even monthly for that matter. Look, Nvidia on a monthly, big picture. Look, it's done well from 2016 all the way to 2021. But look, inflation has brought the stock down to its knees. That's what's going on here. You got a good idea what's going on here. All right, so many times you might want to look at some time frame. You could click on this. You could just say, you know what, I don't want monthly view. Maybe you don't want daily view. You want it 1 day, or you might want say 5 day. You could do that too here. You get to choose your time frame here. And many times you want to see a 2-year view or 1 year view. You could do that too here. So don't need to be limited to the choices. You could customize it and say year to date as example. You got a year to date view here. All right, so that's about this here, and you could also go into the layout here. Many times you are not happy with one chart here. Look, you could do 2 chart, 4 chart. You could go into multiple chart view here. Look, we are into multiple chart windows here. As you can see here, got all AMD. And you could also change some of these here. You might want to compare AMD and maybe Nvidia, which is one of my favorite stock. You could do that too here. We got Nvidia here, AMD here, and you could look at some other things like Qualcomm as an example and see how they're doing. This view here to do a 6 chart here in a platform like TradingView, you gotta pay a lot of money here, whereas this one with the Elite 1 membership here with about $29 or so, you could get all these things easily. All right, let's go back to here a one view layout here, and there we go. And now look, we got a technical analysis here. Right now we got RSI 14, and if you want to change period of RSI here, instead of 14 you can say 7. That will give you 7-day RSI here. Let's go back to 14, which is typically the default. All right, so there are various other things going on here. Look, we got here a scale view, and you could see how much did stock go from here to here, and you see here 12 bars, and you see you get information about how the stock is done here, how many bars, and you could just snap it, and you could see here the degree, how much degree it went. So a little more detail about the scale. And there are a lot of drawing choices here. Let's get rid of this one here and remove, and we got a lot of lines, horizontal lines, and so on and so forth, vertical lines. Look, if you want to see, hey, you know what, this is the top here, you can click on here and you could draw a line here that tells, hey, this could be my resistance level here. And you got one more resistance. You could draw lines so that way you get a good idea about the resistance level and so on and so forth here. All right, so with that, you got a few more information here. You don't need to use all of these. This tells you, wealth of information available for you here. All right, so now let's go back here and go into some of the other things and go from there. All right, let's change this. You could save this as usual and do a few more things here and go from there. Let's go back here and go into a few other areas. All right, so we were somewhere here. We are looking at the Finviz platform here on the snapshot. One of my favorite ways really map. Many times, many of these platforms will give you a map, of a S&P 500. Right now, in my screener here, I got my semiconductor stocks. Suppose I'm not interested in S&P 500 at this time. I want to see how are these semiconductor stocks doing. You could just go on the maps here. It will just select the semiconductor stocks that are in the scanner right now, and it will give a good idea. And you could change the performance to say 1 day, 1 month, 6 months. For example, let's look at 1 year performance. What do you say? Bloodbath here. Nvidia down big time, and we got On Semiconductor doing pretty okay, and Wolf doing pretty much okay. GFS Global Foundries also doing pretty okay here, and Rambus doing okay. It gives a good idea. You don't need to worry about all the stocks in S&P 500, but look at the some limited subset here. And you could even streamline this forward here. For example, if you go back to the custom here, you know what, you don't want to look at all these things here. Instead, let's click on here and bring back the filters. All right, so you might want to say, you know what, I want to look at market cap only more than say $2 billion. Or you could say market cap custom view here. I want to say $2 billion and up here, and you could go into custom view here. Now we got not so many here, just a few of them. You could go into custom right here and look at just those here. Look, we got maps, and you could look at the subset here, as you can see here. and you could look at, very good idea. You can see what are the other companies that are there in that, and how is their performance. As you can see here, very good view. I always use this view, look at a subset of companies and compare them. All right, now let's go back here and go into a few more areas. Next is statistics. You could click on stats here. You could get some good stats around your current selected screeners. You see, have 100% technology. Of course, we have a bunch of semiconductor stocks. You get distribution among mid cap, large cap, and so on and so forth. It's a very good view here. All right, so that's about this various things here. Now let's go into a chart. I think we already looked at the chart. It's a very good way of looking at the chart here. You could change your intervals from 1 minute all the way to 1 month, and you could go to custom intervals like we talked about. And you could also change multiple layouts here. You want 2 layout, no problem. We got 2 layouts here. And if you want multiple layouts here, 3, 4, so on and so forth, you basically create how many layouts you want, all included with the Elite platform, as you can see here. And many times folks who want to look at a shorter term trend, and they also want a longer term trend, you could have a shorter term trend here, maybe a 1-day chart here, maybe a say weekly chart, so that way you get some good idea. All right, now let's go back here and look at a few more things. All right, so now let's look at maps. Maps is a very good thing. Normally I look at the maps. We got multiple things here. You could look at this view here in the maps. You could look at the bubble view. Look, it's a nice bubble view here. You can see how are the various things doing in various bubbles. Meta down 1.5%, as you can see here. On the other hand, we got few more which are on the positive side, and we got few more which are doing pretty okay, like Berkshire Hathaway. This is where you have the bubble here. Bubble size is by market cap, as you can see here, and you could choose color by sector and so on and so forth. It's a very good way of getting some ideas here. And next is one of my favorite here, which is the groups. Anytime you go into the stock market, there is always market rotation. So you should really understand the market rotation to really make some good improvements in your trading life. By looking at this, you see here on last Friday, it's a 1-day performance. Last Friday, we have basic materials did great. Looks like money is flowing there. Whereas look, we got communications. Think about Facebook and stocks like Snapchat and so on and so forth. They're not doing well. So you got a very good idea. That's 1 day here. Then you could go into a weekly view. Look on the weekly view, healthcare is not doing great. Looks like money is coming out of healthcare into areas like technology and energy. That's the market rotation. When the market does well, money comes out of the defensive sectors and goes into the high risk areas like technology as an example, and energy also of late. So that's what the sector rotation. And as you go into 1 month view here, look, we got in a month time frame, money is coming out of some of these defensive names here, which are typically these sectors will do well when the market is in a turmoil, and money is going into some of the high risk areas like energy. And look, technology in a 1 month view has not done well. Technology has got more room to run, as many of you know here. When the market understands Fed is not going to increase the rates, that's when technology will go higher. Right now we are in a wait and see type mode here. On a 3 month here, look, energy is doing very well. It's kind of helps you to understand the market rotation game here. Money is going to energy here. Money is coming out of areas like health, real estate, where with the high interest rates, folks are not buying too much house, and it's a little bit difficult as a home seller. And you got half year, 1 year, year-to-date performance. You get a good idea what sectors are doing well, what's not doing well. and this can change in a flash, as many of you know here. If you compare a 1 year view here, we got 1 year view. Look, technology is a negative 31%, and communication services still negative, and we got utilities and defensive at the top here. Flip back to 1 day view here. Look, in 1 day view, look, we got healthcare at the almost at the bottom in a weekly view here. Money is flowing out of healthcare, and areas like technology is doing well with some money flowing into the riskier assets like technology. All right, that's about the bar chart. I like this view here. It's a great view. You got a good idea about the market. Next, you could look at a few more things. You could also look at a few more things. You could look at overview of the sector, look how the sectors are doing, and you could look at the valuation. You could look at the performance of the sectors. Typically, when you see first thing in the morning or even over the weekend, you can get a good idea how are various sectors doing. For example, basic materials look doing well in a 1 week basis. But as you look through 1 year performance, 1 year, basic material is still down. Energy doing well, and it's one of the good things I love about this view. You can click on any of these and it will tell you the top stocks in those areas. For example, you had no idea what stocks are there in the basic material. Just click on it. You have a nice stock list here of basic materials. You could sort this by market cap just by clicking through the overview tab here. You can sort this by market cap. Look at the big companies in this area. Look, we got in the descending order now. First one is Lindy, one of my favorite, and you could get a good idea of the stocks here. All right, that's about that view. Let's go back here, and we were in this view here, performance view. You could look at custom view to get a little more information based on the attributes that you chose. This is for the folks who have got the elite view here. You could look at bar chart. You could look at spectrum. Many of you want to look at the spectrum view here. It's the 1 day performance, and you could right now it's a 1 day performance in a spectrum view here. You could change some of these things into other time frames here and go from there. So we're in the spectrum view. It tells you, hey, you know what, SHW is doing okay here, and CCI not doing okay. In the healthcare, in the real estate space, you get a good idea about what's doing well on Friday, what's not doing great. And then you could look at charts. As usual, we looked at this already. Good chart of basically a sector chart here. Basically tells you in last 1 year how are these sectors doing. A quick bird's eye view here. You could also get some nice blurb about performance, as you can see here. All right, so let's go back here. We're on groups here. Next, there's a portfolio view. I don't particularly make use of this here. If you have a portfolio, you could enter your portfolio here, so you can track your portfolio. You can tell when you bought the stock, when you sold the stock. It will kind of maintain that portfolio. All right, next is Insider. I love this view. In a bird's eye view, you could see what are the top stocks where insiders are buying or selling. Look, we got all these stocks here, PRTA. And one of the beauty of this platform, the moment you click on any of this, hover on any of these things, it will give you a nice chart here, which is very, very unique to this platform. I like it. They keep the user interface very clean. So you just hover on it, it gives you the information that you will need. All right, so here you got transaction, buy, sell. You could get a good idea what's going on here. You got the value and so on and so forth. What are insiders are doing? Very important. And you could look at the futures. This is one of my favorite view here. Many of the platforms, it's very hard to get a good view of the futures. For example, trading view will give you some information, but this gives you very good information about the futures trading. I typically look at this at least two times a day, once in the morning and once after the market is closed, maybe sometimes in the night, just to see how the futures are doing. This is a quick bird's eye view of all the futures here. But then I go into indices, one of my favorite here. If you click on indices, it tells you all these major indices like Dow Jones Industrial Average, Look, we got here August, September, October. Now Dow Jones Industrial Average since October is pretty much doing okay here. Same story. Look, S&P 500 is doing okay since say mid-October here. As Nasdaq, same story. A very good idea about the futures market, and you can see how these futures are doing right now. This is actually, right now the futures are not open yet. It will open up later today around 6 o'clock or so. Then you can see this. This is pretty much a view from last Friday. And you could look at energy here. We got various energy like crude oil and Brent oil, so on and so forth. You can see how they're doing. Looks like ethanol, not too much trading activity here. Volume is slightly not great, but look, crude oil is doing very well here. Nice volume. You could right now you could see here nice support level. You can get some good idea. Heating oil is coming down, but with some winter approaching, this can also go higher. All right, now you could look at the bonds. You can see how the bond market is doing. Look, bonds are really terrible of late, going down, and 10-year note is down. That's a not so great story here. And you could look at soft. This is where you got cocoa, cotton, and so on and so forth here. Look, orange juice are doing very nice here, and cocoa is slightly struggling here. Look, there's a nice support level here, and lumber is going higher, as you can see here. Sugar is doing okay here, good support level somewhere here. So that tells you how are these soft doing. If you're a metal person like gold and silver, so on and so forth, metals, look, gold is not doing great. It's trying to recover, as you can see here. Same story is silver. Silver is a little more, bouncing back a little better than gold. Platinum is doing okay here. Nice higher high, nice channel up here. And copper is, I think, off late it's bouncing. That's a good story here. Palladium is a rocky road here right now. Nice support level. You could buy some palladium at these levels here. Kind of gives a good idea how the future is doing. If you're in the meats, you can look at the meats and see, look, live cattle is doing well here. Nice uptrend. Feeder cattle is not so great, and lean hogs are going up again after getting slaughtered here, as you can see here. And you could look at the grains and see how the grains doing. Looks like some of these grains are doing great here. Look, soybean oil is doing well here. Soybean meal is picking up now, and corn is trying to decide where to go here. It might go higher. Oats are not doing great. You get some good idea. Look, canola is doing great, as you can see here. And last but not least, I know many of you like to do currency here. Look, there's a nice currency chart here. You got USD, Euro. USD is pretty much doing well, as you can see here. With the Feds increasing the rates, USD is in an uptrend, as you can see here. Right now consolidating, and Euro is not great here now. There is some slight bounce, as you can see here. JPY getting slaughtered, nice bounce here. You get some good idea about the about the currencies here. And you could also click on this little more to look at a little more detail here. Look, there's a nice view here. And if you have a elite platform here, you could also click on charts here, and you could bring up this USD chart and go from there. Look, you have USD chart here. You could do a 1 screen or 2 screen, no problem. And you could see how is the USD doing in a 1 minute basis or 3 minute, 5 minute. You get a good idea. All right, let's go back here and look at a few more things here. All right, so now let's look into Forex. I know many of you like to look at the Forex. Look, there's a nice Forex. You got your favorite pairs here. You got Euro USD, GBP, and so on and so forth here. If you're an elite member, it's pretty much real-time currency. You get a good idea. Right now in a 5-day view here, you could go into 5-minute view here. You could go into, say, hourly, daily, weekly, and so on and so forth here. For example, let's go to 5 minutes again here, and look, it gives you a nice idea here how is various currency doing. Looks like Great Britain on a 5-minute chart going a little higher, whereas AUD is not so good. It's okay. but USD is trying to think where to go here. And if you change this here from 1 day 5-minute view to maybe say daily view here, things might change. As you can see here, again Great Britain is bouncing back, as you can see here. But if you go a weekly view here, you got a good idea what's going on in the weekly view. And you got a weekly view here. Looks like Euro USD is doing well in a weekly view here. And you could look at monthly view here. You got a nice monthly view here, and so on and so forth. You got a good idea what's going on here. And if you want to look at a little more detail in the Euro USD, you can look at the chart here and go into the chart view here. We got the pairs. I could say Euro USD here. There you go. You got a nice chart here. Many of you want to look at 1 minute chart, no problem. You can look at 1 minute chart. Look, it's going higher. 3 minute, 5 minute, you can knock yourself off. A very good idea. And you want to change some of these things. For example, you want some simple average. You don't like RSI. Instead of RSI, you want to do maybe say you want to do MACD. You could add MACD, or you have some limited set of these things here. You want commodity channel index, CCI. You could add that. For example, if I add this, you got a new CCI here, as you can see here. If you don't like that, you could change it, and you could probably add maybe something else here. We got stochastics, Williams. It's compared to trading view, you don't get so many choices, but you get good enough choices. You could also look at things like ADX, money flow index. I'll typically look at money flow index. Also, you could look at MACD and see what's going on here. I will change it back to RSI, which typically I use in most of my analysis here. I'll change it back to RSI for now here. All right, so I can save this and go back. All right, we're in the Forex here. As you can see here, you get a nice Forex view here. You could use this to decide on how to trade Forex in your favorite platforms. All right, now let's go to crypto. Many of you are into crypto here. It tells you how the cryptos are doing. There is a nice view here. You could look at the performance. You get a nice performance view here. Actually, we didn't go into performance view in the Forex. In Forex also, you could go into performance view here. Look, there is a nice performance view here. We got a daily view. You could go into weekly view and look at the performance in a weekly view. Look, in this one here, you got performance in 5 minute, 1 hour, daily, weekly. It's a very good view. For example, if you want to do Bitcoin USD, looks like it's per hour not great in hourly view, but daily view it's good. You get a good idea. I like this type of view here. You could use this to improve your trading. You could look at multiple charts as usual of all these things and do a side-by-side analysis. Say if you want 5 minutes, no problem. All these are 5 minutes now. You can get some good idea. And I'll look at hourly basis or daily basis. All right, next we're in crypto here. Nice view here. Tells you how the crypto doing. You could look at the performance view here, or you could go into say 5 minute, hourly, daily, all these views. You can look at the performance of all these cryptos here. Look what's going on here. Look, a 1 day view doing well. Performance per 5 minutes a little bit negative in case of LTC. You get a good idea here. And also look, we got a nice view here on a daily performance, and you could look at weekly here. Now we got 1 week performance, and it's a very good idea. You could see where to go here. Look, XRP on a monthly basis, it dropped off so much here. You could take some other side of the trade here and try to go long if that's what you want to do. And we got month to date. Look, BCH is not doing well. And you can look at the quarterly view. Very good, information if you're into crypto or even Forex for that matter. And then you could go into your platform. And then you got some back test. There is some limited back test. Look, I've done some of these back testing, as you can see here. You could just do a new back test if you are into back tests, and you could just say, hey, you know what, I want to, in this case, I'm doing Russell 2000. And for example, if you're into Apple, you can say AAPL here. or maybe NVDA, and you can say minimum daily volume here, and you can say when do you want to start. Let's say I want to start it on say 2000 here. All right, 2005 or maybe even 2010 for that matter. All right, 2010 it is, and I want to start on January 1st. You could decide where to start. All right, let's go back to 2010. There you go. So I want to start somewhere here. Let's go back here into January. All right, I want to start on January 1st here on a Friday, and I want to end it, say, sometimes later. Let's choose here. 2021 is good. 2020 in March is where it will go. Let's select that, and transaction cost is fine. Minimum daily volume, we got about 1 million shares traded, which is okay. And here we are saying entry when RSI, relative strength index, on a 14-day basis. Say right now if you're saying, hey, indicator value is less than 20. If you want to do that way, you could do it. Many times I do this just to see how is the monthly performance and go from there. And exit, I don't want to exit, I just want to see the performance. You could just run a back test. Many times I run this back test to see the monthly performance of these stocks and see what months are good. I can run this back test right here. Are you sure? I will say, okay, I don't need any exit criteria. There you go. We got our back test running here. Look, we have NVIDIA all the way from January 1st to 31st of March 2021. And look, there is a total return. NVIDIA has done great. Max drawdown. We have some max drawdown in some months here. And look, overall, it's done well. And you could also look at this in a table, which is, I always love to look at the table here. The moment you look at the table, look all the way from 2010 to 2021 March. You can see here NVIDIA has done well in January for most part here, with the exception of maybe 2015 and 2014 and even 2013. A little bit hard time here. But look, we got some month like June. It's a little bit difficult for NVIDIA with the few negative months here in June. You get the idea. There are indications here to see when it's negative in a pink background here, when it's nice and high with this green background. You could look at some of the statistics here by clicking on the statistics here on your back test, and you get some good idea. You could run some back test like this here. So, and you could look at what are the benefits of Elite platform here. Look, we got, all these Elite features, real time and extended hours. If you have Elite platform, you could look at the extended hours between 8 a.m. and after market, after market sessions until 5 p.m. It's a very good indication. You get all these things, as you can see here, in the pre-market and after market. And you could look at the chart, add some of the favorite indicator like Bollinger Band, as you can see here. You could customize the chart design. You could go into the black mode and white mode and so on and so forth here. And backtest, like we talked about, you can do correlations. We did not look at the correlations. We could also do correlations. And look, there's a good correlation between various things here. And you could look at, if you're an Elite member, you could customize on any of these filters using your own criteria. Look here, you got $1 billion to $10 billion market cap here. And look, we got various alerts. You could set your own alerts. We have not looked at this one also. Here, if folks are setting up an alert when Apple, we got 130 to price above 130. You got some alert here. You can set up your own alerts. And you got a few more things going on here. You could set some defaults. How you want your screener setting here. You could set your defaults. And one of my favorite is really, you could look at these views here, outstanding, fundamentals. It's a very good view here. All right, so with that, let's go back here. I think we did not look at probably correlation view here. We could look at one of the stock here, AAPL. As you bring up AAPL here, look, we got correlation right here. It's telling you Apple has correlation with the XLG and all these things here. You could just click on correlation view here. Look, we got Apple. It's kind of correlated with these stocks here, these tickers. So that's the correlation here. You could look at correlation here, and it's also inversely correlated to some of these areas here. So it's a very good view. I like it. And many times, you might want to look at, only Chinese companies as an example. This is one of the best thing here. You could click on all here, and you could go to country. Many times I want to look at China, only China, for example. I could just click on it. You get only Chinese companies. You could sort by market cap here. Look at the biggest companies in China. As you can see here, we got big companies in China. Alibaba top here, and you got Pinduoduo second one, and so on and so forth. You could also look at other countries, like one of my favorite is to look at some of these Israeli companies which are doing well sometimes. You could look at them also here. Checkpoint, top Israeli company. You could look at performance here. Look, performance perspective, Checkpoint had done not great here. Performance for 1 year is -7%. Much better than other companies here. ICL has done well, and we got here ELST done great, 40% up. So you get a good idea. You could look at any country, most of the countries for that matter. And many times you might want to look at industries. You could look at any industry. As you can see here, all these industries, you could look at stocks and look at the performance of those. All right, so I think we looked at many of these areas. One more thing I typically like to do is really, many times it's hard to decide how to trade. You could go into signals here. For example, you could say, what, I want to look at trend line resistance. These are the stocks which might hit a resistance and come down. You could click on it and look at the trend line resistance, and you could look at some of the bigger stocks, average volume over 500k, and you might want stocks more than say $10 as an example. You could choose that more over $10, and look, we got stocks over $10, average volume above 500k. Instead of Israel, let's say everything here. Let's not limit ourselves. Look, we got all these stocks here. These are trend line resistance here. You could look at these stocks here. Go into charts view here, and look, we got RY. Looks like there's a nice trend line resistance here. You could look at the short type situation here and go from there. So this is where you could do trend line resistance. Look, Northrop, nice trend line resistance. Looks like it went above it. So it's you could get some idea. You could look at buying some put options in those scenarios. All right, and also if you want to look at trend line support, for example, you want to buy something which has got a nice support here, you could click on TL support, which is trend line support. Look, we got stocks with trend line support. These are the ones with trend line support. You could look at those. And for example, you don't want any ETFs here, you can say stocks only, no ETF. And now look, you get stocks only. Look, Adobe right now, if I go back to chart here, look, there's a nice support level here. It's going off of support. Could be good time to buy some Adobe at these levels here. Same story with BX here. BX also nice trend line support, and BAM and so on and so forth. These could be candidates for your long. Even Expedia, look, there's a nice trend line support here. So you could trade based on these patterns here. If you're into patterns, you could look at inverse head and shoulders. If you are a person who want to trade inverse head and shoulders, because typically inverse head and shoulders is a good story, you could click on it, and look, we got nice stocks with the inverse head and shoulders, and you could look at their charts. Look, we got stocks with the inverse head and shoulders here. You could trade them and go from there. Look, we got nice set of inverse head and shoulder pattern here. And if you want to look only head and shoulders because you want to short, you could go to head and shoulders here. And look, we got a nice head and shoulder pattern. We could go to charts here. Look, we got head and shoulders here. Got nice head, shoulder. You could trade these things here. Maybe this might go down, given it's a head and shoulder type pattern here. All right, so many times I get the question, hey, you know what, I'm not a stock guy, I'm a option guy, help me out here. So if you're an option guy, no problem, you can use this platform here, even though it's not for options for most part, but you could use it for options also. For example, you could look at right here we got option short here. If you're an option trader, you could say optionable. That's your first step here. You want optionable stocks here, and as you're into options, you want ATR or average to range at least above, I would say, over 1, so that way you look at the volatile stocks that you could make some money on. And then you could look at depending on what you want to do, if you're a long or a short. If you're a long, I would say look at RSI, which is oversold. If you're a long person here, you could also do a custom here. If you have Elite platform, you can say RSI between 0 and say 40. That's when you want to go a long type scenario here. You could look at that here. Look, we got nice set of stocks here, and you could sort them by market cap. If you want to do that, look at big market cap companies at the top here. Look, we got market, it's already sorted. Look, Tesla right now, you could go long, given Tesla has fallen down too much here. These are your long candidates here. And for example, you want low volatility. Right now, there is nothing low volatility here. You can say volatility, if you are a premium seller, you could say volatility at least over 5% here, or say start with 3% here. Look, these are the stocks you could sell some put options. Look, we got put options or put spreads for that matter, given they have got high volatility. This is how options traders can use this platform and make some money here. And if you want to sell some call options at the top or call spreads, you could do easily. When you want to do that, I would say go at least 60 to 100 here from an RSI perspective. You want the stock to be overbought. That's when you can make some money by selling some call options at the top here. Look, we got stocks like JP Morgan, Bank of America. Look, all these stocks are doing great right now. This is when you can even go higher and sell some call options and go from there. Typically, I recommend if you're options trading here, just because you want more liquidity here, go into the market cap, at least choose, I would say, over 10 billion. So that way you can, go after some of these liquid stocks and not illiquid stocks. There you go. If you're an options trader, I would do that and leverage, volatility and optionable and RSI higher if you want to sell some call options at the top, or call spreads, and lower if you want to sell some if you want to sell some put options below, or even if you want to go long for that matter. So that's a very good way of options trading, even though platform itself is not for options trading. Next one is really about the data. This has got rich set of data. Right now I got a custom view here. In this custom view, I chose few columns. As you can see, I can go on the settings view here again. Look, I chose these columns here because I want to look at these on a daily basis. They give you one custom view here, but there's a workaround to see multiple custom view. For example, what I've done is I've created one more profile here. Look, I got one more profile right here. You can have one more view for your profile. This profile, I've selected all the available attributes here. Look, if I go to settings here, look, I've selected all of them. You've got price to sales, next year, float, you name it. I've selected it. This is my download view here. I want to download all these things into my Excel spreadsheet, and analyze heck of this and go from there. I can go right here. I go here and say download right here, all the way here. Download this to Excel spreadsheet, which is one of my favorite way here. Look, I got Finviz 6. And look, it's giving me, let's see, it's opening right now. Let's give it a minute. Look, we got here a nice view here. We got about, let's see here, I've selected here about 8,000 stocks, as you can see here. And look, I got all these columns here, all the way from ticker. Look, we got a lot of columns all the way to, BT here. It's about, say, 60, 70, 80 columns here. So that's the beauty of this platform. You could download all these things here and analyze the heck out of it and make some great trading decisions. And this is one of my favorite way. Look, I create my own personal charts here with all the color codings. One of my data sources is Finviz. Look, Fin3 here. All this data is coming from Finviz, and I used it to analyze the stocks on a weekly, daily basis and make some good decisions on stock trading. Data is the key, and this platform Finviz, they will give you all the data that's required. You could analyze it as and when you want. So in summary here, what I want to do is I'll quickly share an Excel spreadsheet so you can get some takeaway here. Look, Finviz platform, one of the reasons I love this platform, it's very easy to use. And any day, many other platforms are very restricted, whereas this platform is very easy to use. You can get some good idea anytime. And look, next I basically talk about a few things here. Look, from a Finviz free version, if you want to just try it out, I say start with the free version here, completely free. Only things you get some annoying advertisements. It's a browser based, as you can see here, and 15 minutes delayed if you're in a free version, and it's the real time if you're in elite version. Pre-market data is not available. After-market data is not available if you're a free member. Whereas in elite member, you got this data available between this time frame here. I make use of it all the time. And you don't have a ability to create custom views here if you're in a free version. Look, I've got some few key things that I always use. I can create my own custom view in elite version. And if you want multiple views, create multiple browser windows with different profiles. You can have different custom views using different browser profiles. And customize filters, you can do that in the free version. For example, if you want market cap 1 billion to 2 billion, and you want two industries, semiconductor as well as semiconductor equipment, you cannot do that in the free version, and you can do that in the elite version. That's one of the reasons I got that one. And fundamental charts are not there in free version. In the elite version, you can look at yearly, quarterly trends, and you can look at the shares outstanding and earnings per share and revenue. And that's one of the reasons I used it. It's a very good view. Look, I trade a lot using Thinkorswim platform. I always want to look at the company, look at some fundamental analysis. That's where Finviz comes into play. With the free version, there is annoying advertisements, whereas there is no advertisement in the Finviz Elite. That's one of the big plus points. All right, now you might wonder, what I like about Finviz. First thing is simplicity. It's a very powerful and simple. That's one of the reasons I love it, and very good. There is no issue on the speed, high speed. There are advanced chart. You hover over any of these ticker, you get a chart right there. This is not available in other platforms. And you get the technical pattern. You could look at head and shoulder, trend line support, and you could scan using this pattern. Very good pattern scanner. And you could search for any ideas. I will show you this in a minute. So you don't need to know what stocks, but any ideas, you can get the stocks for those ideas. You could download all the data and analyze in Excel spreadsheet, which is very good with this platform here. And there are a wide variety of indicators like short ratio, insider buying, insider selling. This is one of the reason I went into this platform here. Many of the platform like Trade Ideas, Trading View, they don't have things like short ratio, insider buying and selling, and institutional buying and selling. It's very unique to this platform. That's one of the reason I go to this platform. And there is yearly charts by revenue, sales, outstanding in the Elite platform, which is great. And you could look at the quarterly charts also. And some things I don't like here, limited fundamental information. For me it's okay because typically, many companies very well, so you don't need too much information. This helps you with this platform will help you, by looking at the fundamentals. But if you're into too much fundamentals, then you might want to look at platform like Stock Rover. This is a little bit light on fundamental, but good enough fundamentals, mainly because of these yearly charts, which is great. And you cannot, unable to create multiple views. There is a workaround, create multiple browser profiles. Then you can create one view per browser profile. And you cannot move some of these data fields, where you want it. That's one of the limitation here. I'm sure they're working on it. And limited historic data in the scanner up to 1 year. But you could look at chart in a multiple time frames. And customer support, sometimes it's not responsive. One thing I noticed, the moment you send 2 emails, they will respond back to you. I think they're getting better now. And it used to be limited product innovation, but of late they started doing some changes. They give you the dark mode and few other things. I think they're making some changes, but a little bit slower compared to other platforms like TradingView, mainly because probably their customers resist changes. These are the big institutions using their platform. All right, now let's go in and see, is Finviz Elite platform for me? So look, if you're a swing trader, you could use this platform. It's a great platform for swing trader. I recommend this platform for swing trader. And if you want to look at short squeeze, for example, you want to look at the short float, short ratio, this is a good platform. You could screen by short ratio, and short squeeze or a short interest information is not available in TradingView or Trade Ideas or TC2000, or even it's not in bar chart. And you could look at insider and institutional trading information and see which insider is buying, how much they bought, how much they sold, and a very good view within your screener, which is very good. And you could look at multiple charts at the same time. You could look at, say, 20, 30, 40 charts at the same time, which is very good. You could compare these stocks, very easily. And integrated chart, news, upgrade, downgrade, fundamental, it's a very good view. I've not seen such a view in other platforms here. Other platforms are a little bit rigid, whereas this platform will integrate the view, the news, upgrade, downgrade, so on and so forth in a nice pattern. And there is no scripting. This platform is really for the users who are not very technology oriented. There is no scripting. For example, platforms like TradingView, you could do some Pine scripting, whereas in this platform there is no scripting. It's very simple. It's a user interface, a couple of clicks here, and you can generate some good idea. And next is idea generation. I will go into this in a minute. It's a great idea generator. Many platforms like TradingView or others, you cannot generate ideas like this platform here. And look, technical indicators. There is not a lot of technical indicators like Trade Ideas as example, but it's good enough. And Screener does not support a less than a day interval. Like for example, TradingView, if you have a premium membership or even a pro membership, you could look at say 5 minute, 1 minute in the Screener. But in the Screener, it's 1 day. You could look at the 1 minute, 5 minute in the charts. It does not provide option chains and option information, but there is a workaround. You can look at optionable stocks and look at trendline support, trendline resistance. You could look at some of these volatility indicators and make some options trading decisions using this platform. So in summary, I say if you are if you want a platform where you can confidently make decisions, this is a quick and easy platform, very simple experience. You could look into this platform and make some decisions. So with that, I want to show you one more thing here. Let's go back to this platform here. Look, I'm in Finviz platform. Many times you don't know what you want to buy. For example, you heard from somebody, let's click on this here. You heard from somebody, you know what, Metaverse is doing great. So you could go into this platform and say, Metaverse as an example here, Metaverse. And click on it. So it will tell you, hey, you know what, there's a Metaverse ETF. You could click on it, look at the stocks in this Metaverse ETF and see there are 8 companies with the Metaverse here. You could click on this here and look when it comes to Metaverse, there is ACN, GLOB and so on and so forth. You get a good idea. You could research on those companies here. And you could click on this ETF here and look, we got an ETF here. And you could look at a few more details about this ETF and see what this ETF has. You get some good ideas on the research here. And look, we got some more things here. We got companies with the Meta details, and you could also just say Meta here. If you don't want to say full Metaverse, just say Meta. You got a Meta stock here, and you can say augmented reality or virtual reality. All right, now you got a lot of companies with virtual in them, or you could say augmented. Look, we got a lot of companies with augmented in them. There are 25 items. Look, we got great companies, and you could click on market cap and look at the biggest companies with the augmented in them. Look, Meta, Workday, and so on and so forth, Unity. These are all these metaverse type plays here. And for example, you are into biotech names and you want to look at the companies. Oh, you know what? Okay. All right. So we got all these companies here. For example, you're into metaverse here. You are into biotech and you want to look at biotech stocks with the, some good catalyst. For example, you are looking at companies which have got some stage 1, stage 2 type things here. You can say stage 1, and you could go here and say industry, and you could say healthcare, right here, healthcare, and say biotech, and we got right now we can say stage 1 here. Yeah, let's get rid of these names here. All right, let's remove all the stickers. All right, so now we can say stage 1 here. Now you get a good set of companies. We got 200 items here with the stage, and you could say right here, you could say industry, and you can say biotech right here. Go back to sector, healthcare, industry, biotech. There you go. You got a lot of companies here, and you could go here to the custom or even a snapshot view here, and you could see here, some of these companies they got here stage in their description here, and that's how you could look at some of these biotech companies with the stage 1, stage 2 type indications and get some more details. Look, we got clinical stage biotech. These are all clinical stage biotechnology companies. And for example, let's look at stocks like Bristol Myers here, BMY. And as you look through here in Bristol Myers, look, you got various things going on. We got COVID-19. For example, you want to look at COVID-19, you could just say COVID-19, it will give you the information here, and go from there. We could say COVID-19 or just COVID. You get list of stocks just with COVID here. There are 125 items. Look, all these have got COVID. You could sort it by market cap. There you go. You got big companies with COVID in them, like J&J, Lilly, and so on and so forth. So with that, we'll conclude here. In a nutshell, if you are a trader who want to get some information about the stocks, do some easy scan, and need a flexible platform, this is the platform for you, especially if you're a swing trader. So with that, we'll probably conclude here. Thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. I will leave a link for this platform. Please click on the link and try to get more information. If you need more information, please feel free to email me. I will respond back to you and go from there. Thank you very much. Happy investing and trading.